These are really quite simple units to use. We already give you a brass garden hose coupler on the front, so you can just attach a garden hose to it. Real simple. If you don't want to use a garden hose to this, we're not huge fans of garden hoses here, you could remove this brass and you could thread in, these are 3/8 housings, so you could thread in a 3/8 Schedule 80 PVC or any kind of plumbing you want, a 3/8, so you can enlarge it to 1/2 inch too. Just be careful, these are soft plastics, and you don't want to strip that out on the input. The output though has a flow restrictor here, and so you can't take it out. It's needed to regulate the flow rate through this unit, through the carbon filter especially, so do not remove the flow restrictor unless you know that your flow rate going through here is going to be less than 2 gallons a minute, but it's best not to. Most garden hoses flow around 2 to 3 gallons a minute. So on the output, you're just going to connect this garden hose adapter to the 3/8 tubing right here. You'll connect a little piece of 3/8 tubing to it, put the garden hose adapter on it, and then you can hook up another hose. If you're just going to fill a tank, run the 3/8 tubing over to your tank. To regulate this unit, it's real popular to use a float valve. Now, you don't want to use these little hot dog float valves on a slim scrub because it flows 2 gallons a minute. And these little hot dog float valves can only handle 1 gallon a minute. So these are going to slow your scrub down, your scrubber. It's better to use a more commercial sized float valve. Here's a 3/4 inch with a 1/2 inch orifice. This valve can flow a ton of water, and it's got a stainless rod, 6-inch ball, and it'll really make sure you get a positive shut off on this unit. So here's a good float valve for a slim scrub. One of my favorite float valves to use on a scrubber is this commercial style kind of cowbell valve, and this hangs straight down, a piece of 1 inch, has 1-inch internal NPT threads, and it hangs straight down in a tank, and as the water goes up, it'll shut the valve off. This thing can flow about 25 gallons a minute. It's made of super strong plastics. It's a great company that makes these, and it's one of my favorites. So both of these are great float valves actually. So these are a great way to regulate the flow of a scrubber if you're going to fill a tank and then pump out from a storage tank. But if you're just going to hand water a garden at 2 gallon a minute flow rate, you can connect a garden hose right to it, and you're off to the races. To install the scrubber, it has some bolt holes in the back. You can screw it to a wall. We have these little catch pans, which are kind of nice too. These are used to catch leaks and then shut off the incoming water. They're kind of safety mechanisms for RO filters, but they're really nice for these tall units because they kind of give it a nice little stand in case you didn't have a wall to secure it to. It's kind of a cool idea too. Those are available on the website as well as these float valves. Once this is plumbed in to feed water, and once your output is plumbed in, just turn it on, and turn it on slowly on the initial startup. Let the water come up through the pre-filter slowly without slamming it with huge water pressure. Just let it come up slowly. You can hear it fill up. You'll hear the pitch change. And once you get water start spewing out, there's going to be air bubbles and stuff because there's air pockets in the carbon. Then you can give it full water pressure. These units come with a KDF carbon filter often. They also can come with these other 2 carbon filters, a green block, these Eco Green carbon filters, or a white block. They're both coconut carbon filters. If the unit comes with a KDF carbon filter, there will be an orange sticker, a reminder sticker on it that says you must flush this carbon filter before using. And it's just to flush the dust out. These KDF filters have a really tall bed of the finest water carbon, highly activated catalytic carbon, and a bed of KDF 85 at the bottom, which is a real chlorine and chloramine destroyer. It's awesome. But these are really dusty. So on initial startup, you'll see the water coming out of here is going to be very dusty and black for about 10 gallons. I would flush it for 20 gallons. And you'll see the water after 20 gallons is crystal clear, and then you're ready to go. So you may not want to water your plants with a bunch of carbon, so flush it out for 20 gallons or so if you got a KDF. If the unit comes with, or you're going to put this in, which is coconut-based carbons, then there's really no need to flush them. The coconut carbons are really good for chlorine. They're not very effective against chloramine, which is what most municipalities are switching to today. The KDF carbon is far superior for chloramine reduction. There's not much to setting up a slim scrub. Plug it in and go.